Hello and welcome to Beautifully Balanced. Health and happiness aren't found in a bottle of prescription pills or with any fad diet. Instead, we can activate your body's natural ability to heal itself. And that is exactly what we're going to do together here. I'm Sarah Teeple, a women's integrative health practitioner, and I blend the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda with the modern science of functional medicine to help you heal your gut, rebalance your hormones, and calm anxiety naturally. Here I'll teach you the smart, sustainable, personalized, and fun way to use nutrition, herbs, and healthy lifestyle to feel vibrant, energized, and beautiful inside and out. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello. Today on Beautifully Balanced, we're talking about alcohol. Beer, wine, cocktails, all the adult beverages. So enjoying an adult beverage can be fun, pleasurable, and relaxing. But going overboard or even innocently doing it incorrectly, and I'm air quoting there, will derail your sleep. It can disrupt your hormones. It can create blood sugar imbalance in your body, can sabotage your energy, and contribute to weight gain. So with alcohol, as with many things, it's all about balance, just like I teach my clients in my Beautifully Balanced program. So today I'm going to share with you some simple, healthy, and fun tips on how to make the most of your drink, if you decide to drink alcohol, as well as sharing with you my favorite healthy alcohol replacement. We're going to dive into the Ayurvedic perspective, where you'll have an opportunity to learn your dosha or your mind-body type, as well as which drinks and how much, if any of those drinks, are best for which doshas, the three doshas, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Then I'm going to give you our 3 tips to make the most of your drink, which will be more of a functional medicine perspective on how to drink without adversely affecting your hormones, your blood sugar, and causing that weight gain or spiking your anxiety. So let's dive in. All right. I want to share with you that some people are floored when they see me enjoying an adult beverage. They're like, wait. I thought you were Miss Healthy. And this kind of always makes me laugh. And it makes me really notice the black and white kind of all or nothing thinking around being healthy. I mean, we're all 3-dimensional human beings. And just because I'm an integrative health practitioner does not mean that I am perfect. Another air quote there. Doesn't mean I'm perfect or I never enjoy small amounts of some substances. So none of us needs to be perfect, but it is helpful and important to choose wisely if you're going to indulge and do it in an informed, empowered way, which is why this is the topic of our show today. I think that it is possible for many people to have a healthy relationship with alcohol and to enjoy it sparingly as part of what may bring you pleasure. Most of us women need more pleasure in our lives. Now, don't get me wrong, alcohol should not be the only source of that. And it is not advisable for you to drink if you're an alcoholic, of course, if you are severely depressed or have very complex medical problems, if you have a strong family history of alcoholism, or if there are issues and unresolved traumas in your life that need resolution. Alcohol should never be used as a replacement for therapy or exploring your emotions and expressing your emotions. So to use myself as an example here, I used to be in a rock and roll band. Many of you know this. So for a decade in my 20s and early 30s, I was the lead singer in a rock band. And during that time, I was certainly using alcohol to excess. I was drinking Kentucky bourbon and smoking cigarettes and staying up till 2 a.m. like it was my job. And in fact, it was part of my job. But as I started to build my spirituality, my yoga practice, I started to get an education in nutrition and holistic health and realized that I was living out of alignment. I realized that alcohol was part of what was perpetuating my living out of alignment. So this is just an example at how some of us use alcohol as a numbing agent or kind of a negative coping mechanism to keep us stuck in our lives. And that is something that warrants exploration with your therapist, with a close friend. We don't want to do that. So even now, because I used to overuse alcohol, I'm very cautious, mindful, and aware of my drinking, or if I drink and when I drink. Nowadays, life with young kids and running a business, it can be stressful. And I know that I'm getting a little out of balance myself, or I'm hustling too hard, or I'm neglecting my deeper needs when I'm starting to feel reliant or look forward a little too much to my daily dark chocolate or my couple times a week vodka and club soda. If those are my only outlets for relaxation and pleasure, I know that I need to press pause and do a little further investigation. So that is kind of a long but important way of saying that it's crucial to exercise lots of awareness around any substances that you're putting in your body. And even more so for the 40 years old and over crew out there. I'm a member of this crew. And as I get further into my fourth decade, I'm 42 years old now, almost 43, I see many of my peers either overindulging to a point that's disrupting their hormones, sleep, and energy, or it's sabotaging their healthy weight goals. And they think, oh, I'm just gaining weight because I'm getting older, when the alcohol is really, really contributing to that. So, especially for this perimenopausal age group, I feel really compelled to share with you a holistic view of what enjoying some alcohol here and there could ideally look like. It is especially important to be mindful of your alcohol consumption, what you're drinking, how much, and the timing in relation to your hormones. So, drinking in a way that does not serve you will negatively impact your hormones. It can increase your hot flashes, drive blood sugar imbalance, which can cause weight gain. It can impact your sleep. It can increase that brain fog that is often associated with hormonal issues. So we really, really want to make sure that we are indulging, savoring, and appreciating in the best way possible. And I'm going to teach you more on how to do that right now. First off, we'll dive into the Ayurvedic perspective. Now, Ayurveda is a 5,000 plus year old system of medicine indigenous to the country of India. Ayurveda is all about mind, body, and spirit. It's one of the original holistic systems of medicine. And in Ayurveda, alcohol is seen as a substance that brings us down. It is a depressant. The Ayurvedic way to say this is that it aggravates, especially kapha dosha. This is the dosha having to do with the earth and water elements. And when out of balance, kapha is very heavy, lethargic, can be kind of melancholic, unmotivated, and things like that. In fact, in Ayurveda, alcohol really aggravates all doshas. So if you're going to indulge in it, we want you to do it really sensibly and with great awareness. Alcohol is often overused, as we mentioned before, to numb stress and anxiety, and physiologically, even to get a quick sugar fix. So, some people think they're, just craving a beer, and really maybe their blood sugar is low. They're stressed and their body needs a little something to raise their blood sugar, but they're used to reaching for that alcohol. So Ayurveda would ideally want us to eliminate alcohol or to reduce it to 3 to 4 drinks weekly as just a very sensible way to indulge. Now, Ayurveda treats individuals based on their dosha, or their unique constitution in mind, body, and spirit. And there are 3 doshas. Those are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And I'm going to talk a little bit about which types of alcohol or, if any, are best for each dosha, vata, pitta, and kapha. Now, if you don't know your dosha yet, you have to go to my website, www.saratepel.com, and take my free dosha assessment. There are actually two really fun, quick, and easy dosha quizzes. One's to get your body dosha, one's to get your mental dosha. So hop over there and take those now, and then you can come back to this and see which type of alcohol you should drink for your dosha. So if you are a vata dosha, and I am vata dosha, this is the dosha that has most to do with the air and ether elements. And there's so much more to say about vatas, and we will do a whole episode on each vata, pitta, and kapha in mind and body. But for now, what you should know if you're vata dosha, the best drink for you would be a small glass of red or white wine with dinner. Sometimes vatas have digestive issues in the forms of this very kind of sensitive digestion that tends to form gas and bloat and just be very touchy digestion. And sometimes that little bit of acid that's in wine can actually act as a digestive aid for vata. So on the flip side, if you are pitta dosha, pitta is the fiery dosha, and pittas tend towards all the fiery emotions and all the fiery physiological attributes, just more inflammation in their body. Their digestion also tends to be more hot. So alcohol, being acidic and heating, can really aggravate and cause problems for pitta dosha. So for pitta, if they want to have a drink, a very small glass of a dry white wine or a drink with clear liquor like a vodka and soda or a gin and club soda and a little bit of lime. So for pittas, lime instead of lemon as a garnish, because lime is more cooling to the digestion and to the body, whereas lemon is more heating. Pittas might also enjoy a lighter beer like a lager or ale or something lightly hoppy, because a little bit of that bitterness is actually good and counterbalances the sharpness of pitta dosha. What they would not want is one of those crazy hoppy craft beers that is also like 10% alcohol. All these craft beers now that taste delicious, but that are so high in their ABV or their alcohol by volume. That higher ABV equals more alcohol, which equals more acidity, and that can be problematic and cause inflammation in the body and the digestive tract for pitta. So pitta should really minimize their alcohol intake and preferably always have it with or before a meal. And we'll talk a lot more about eating in relation to drinking when we do our second section here of the 3 tips. For you kaphas out there, you earthy earth mamas, kapha is the dosha that is associated with earth and water. And kaphas are the ones that I talked about earlier that just tend to be a little more slow moving, a little more grounded, but on the negative side of that, or when that kapha is out of balance, kaphas can really tend towards lethargy, sluggishness, low motivation, depression, and alcohol being a depressant can be problematic for kapha. So if kapha is going to have a drink, they should limit it to one, as should all the doshas, and enjoy a clear liquor beverage like vodka or gin with some club soda, or, the Blanco tequila is fine too. But with some club soda, something light and not sugary, and a wedge or two of citrus. So for kaphas, they should go for lemon because lemon is more heating. Kaphas tend to be more cold or sluggish in the digestion, tend to not have as much acidity as pitta. So they need to go for the more heating citrus and more of it to get that little spike of acid, which is a digestive aid. So those are the dosha guidelines for drinking alcohol. Next up, I want to share my favorite healthy alcohol replacement, or it's even my favorite mixer to go with a vodka drink when I do have an occasional drink. And that is Spindrift soda. And if you have not tried Spindrift, you need to, especially if you love bubbly waters. So, one thing that I love about Spindrift that is completely different and sets it apart from the other bubblies like La Croix or Waterloo, or, now there are just a slew of different bubbly water options out there. But I'll tell you what, most of those sparkling water options, especially if they're flavored, even if it says natural flavor on the can or the bottle, they are flavored using chemical artificial flavors. So it's such a loophole or just a marketing injustice that they can say natural flavors, but it's actually derived from an artificial chemical. So Spindrift doesn't have any of those essences, and I'm air quoting essences, because there really is no way to put the essence of a grapefruit or the essence of a black cherry into a sparkling water except for using a chemical additive. Those chemical additives can actually be migraine triggers for many, and they can just cause some different problems. They can just maximize your toxic load. So even these little bits, little doses of chemicals that we get throughout the day accumulate and can cause problems for many of us. So if you're going to do a bubbly water, do some Spindrift. Luckily nowadays you can find this lots of places. Target, Costco. In Louisville, Kentucky, our main grocery chain is called Kroger, and they carry it at Kroger. So most general grocery stores. My favorite Spindrift flavors are raspberry lime, just the straight up lemon. I love the grapefruit, but there are many flavors. And what sets Spindrift apart is that it uses just carbonated water and a little bit of natural fruit juice. So, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of grapefruit, a little bit of raspberry, a little bit of lime, or whichever flavor that you are having. And this little bit of fruit juice will give Spindrift a tiny bit of sugar, but usually it's about 1 gram per 12-ounce can, which is just totally negligible. We are not worried about that. So if you want to have something special, pour your Spindrift in a beautiful wine glass and sip it and enjoy it and do an alcohol-free, wonderful, refreshing thing. Or if you're like me, add a little shot of vodka to it, and that is your healthy, refreshing cocktail to enjoy a couple or few times a week. Next up, our 3 tips on how to make the most of your drink. So whether you are Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, or maybe you don't even know your dosha, well, no problem. These 3 tips are going to help you enjoy your beer, wine, or cocktail in a sensible and smart way that will have minimal impact on your hormones, sleep, weight, metabolism. So here's how to enjoy your drink the smart way. Number 1, make it a happy hour. So drink a little earlier, preferably finishing up by 7 p.m. This allows your body to fully process the alcohol before sleep. And sleep is such a crucial part of our health, our energy, our metabolism. Dr. Aviva Ram, one of my favorite medical resources and doctors that's out there nowadays, she says that sleep is the fountain of youth, and it is so true. So enjoy your drink early so that it can be fully processed before you go to sleep. When you fall asleep with alcohol in your system, it drastically reduces your sleep quality. It increases your waking in the night. It has effects on your blood sugar. So often that alcohol spikes your blood sugar. Then as your blood sugar drops in the middle of the night, that wakes you up in the middle of the night, sometimes with anxiety, a pounding heart, or a hot flash, as many of you perimenopausal women might know or might have experienced. So what I like to do is I like to pour myself vodka and Spindrift or a small glass of wine a couple times a week. And I like to enjoy that, around 5 o'clock, maybe sipping on it while I'm making dinner or while I'm kind of hanging out with my children while my partner makes dinner. Then I'll maybe finish that drink or glass of wine with dinner. But the point is that that alcohol has metabolized long before my head ever hits the pillow. So that will make it so that you have minimal, if any, negative effects the next day. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, drink with food or have food soon after you drink. So this really eases the blood sugar fluctuations that I just mentioned that can happen as a result of drinking. And it is those blood sugar fluctuations that can cause more inflammation, more metabolic issues, more of that waking in the night, more sugar cravings the next day, more anxiety. So drinking with food really helps reduce sugar cravings and anxiety the next day. Have you ever had a couple cocktails or few glasses of wine, and the next day your anxiety seems to really be spiked? That is often because of the blood sugar impact that drinking has. Drinking with food also minimizes the hormonal side effects. So again, fewer hot flashes, improved PMS symptoms. So try this and see how it feels in your body. You're going to feel the benefits immediately. Number 3, and possibly the most important one, is to enjoy your drink mindfully, preferably savoring one drink per sitting. So we want you to enjoy. We want this to be pleasurable. Maybe you're having a drink with a girlfriend and you're catching up and talking about things that are important to you or things that inspire you, or venting about something that you just need to emotionally express. Or maybe you're even just sitting down and sipping a glass of wine, having a little solo time. But the purpose here is that you're being really mindful, aware, and enjoying. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And notice if you're using alcohol to cope. And if so, get curious about your stress, the anxiety in your life. Does it have to do with your job, your relationships? Is there something that is out of alignment that needs addressing? And are you using alcohol to numb this? So I hope that you've enjoyed a little bit of Ayurvedic education around your dosha and around what kind of drink could be best for you should you choose to indulge. Again, if you want to take that dosha quiz, I invite you to go to my website, sarahteeple.com, go to the free dosha quiz and take the mental dosha and body dosha quizzes. They're each going to take you about 4 minutes. They're super fun, and you'll get some great information about your mind and body constitution, as well as some tips sent right to your inbox. So find out a little bit about yourself. So I hope you've enjoyed both the Ayurvedic component and our 3 tips. These are going to help you enjoy your drink, find the pleasure in it, and have a good relationship with alcohol, using it mindfully and having little to no impact on your hormones, your mood, your energy, your metabolism. So cheers, my friends. Thank you for being here with me today. And as always, I invite your feedback. Make a comment or leave a rating on the podcast if you enjoyed it, and reach out to me at sarahteeple.com if you'd like to connect with me and tell me what you're working on. I always love hearing from you. Thanks so much for being here, and have a great day. Thank you for being here with me today. Remember, you can feel your best naturally. Just try one new thing a week that you learn here and watch your body and life transform. And if you're ready to take this to the next level, learn your dosha, get your personalized holistic plan, and live beautifully balanced, you've got to come see me at sarahteeple.com. That's sarahteeple.com. There you can learn about how to work with me one-on-one or book a free holistic chat and just tell me what you're working on. I love to hear from you and help you live your best life. So until next time, be well. Oh, and if you love this conversation, please rate and review our podcast. That really helps more people find natural healthcare options. Thanks again, and see you soon.